Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second episode of the Head to Head podcast with myself and my co-host.
What's up, guys? Simone here.
Last time I had no clue what to call you. Now we finally settled. It's co-host. No more. The mic wasn't loud last time. I just want to say that the first episode did phenomenal. So much good reviews. So much good positive feedback from people. We're not number one trending or anything. Maybe not. We're on our way to being the number one podcast in Malta. Maybe in the world. Maybe. Right?
One day.
Okay. But yeah, we just want to say thanks to everyone who listened. We're just so happy that you guys enjoyed it. So much people actually listened to all of it, which was my biggest, I was genuinely surprised. Because I really thought some people would just listen to 5 minutes and piss off and just not give a fuck. But enough about the first episode.
Anyways, so here today we have an amazing guest. So he's a future guest ever. He's his first guest, and he's upcoming to become one of the future rock stars of Gozo. Okay, his name is Denis Mezei. He's 16 years old. He is in phenomenal for his age guitar player. A lot of good points, and I really cannot wait to get into some of the questions I have towards him, because I really have a lot of questions. Yeah, it's really good to have you.
Hello.
Introduce yourself.
Hello. So I'm Denis, as Simone said, and I really want to begin with saying that I'm really happy for you guys having me, especially at this early stage of your show.
Yeah.
So
first guest ever. So
yeah, it's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we just dive in with the questions, guys? Let's just start it off.
I guess the first thing is your music. So we've known Denis for what, 3-4 years now?
4 years now.
You moved
more
here
than 4 years
in
now.
middle school.
Yeah.
I remember the first day you ever came here, I was sick. And the next day I come to school and I'm like, who the fuck is this blonde kid? And everyone's like, oh, that kid's Denis. He's actually pretty cool. I'm like, okay, and you were in my English class.
Yeah, I felt like that too. I was like, who the fuck am I? Why the fuck am I here?
Exactly. And then you became friends with Jake, and I met you through him, and then you became friends with Joshua, and then I was like, this guy's really into music, and now we're here. All right. We were in the last 2 years. We were all three of us in each other's classes, so we know a lot about each other, learned and grow. we grew with each other, you know?
Honestly, me and
I have a lot of memories with all three of us, for real.
Me and you, Zach, we only started actually, I guess, somewhat talking and becoming somewhat close later, the past 2 years, really.
Yes, when you moved into my class.
Yeah.
When it was... Before, I knew of you, but I never, hung out with
year
you.
10, actually. Beginning of year 10.
Exactly.
But me and Simone, I actually met Simone on, my first day of school.
Yeah.
So, this is a really funny story, actually.
Oh, God.
I don't know I'd honestly like to say this. I was really getting into metal at the time, and I remember one of our close friends, shout out to Ricky, he pointed at me basically towards Denis, and he said he listens to metal. So the first thing we linked up with is this band called Slipknot, and it's a song called Devil and I.
So stupid.
And it's really good, and that's how I met him, and I found out how good of when it comes to music, this guy knows his shit. Trust me, it's really amazing how much you can be dedicated at such a young age, in my opinion.
I remember on the first day sitting at the table, Ricardo comes up to me, like, do you know metal? Do you know metal? You like metal? I reply with the quietest yes ever, because I'm still new in the class. He runs away. From the he goes to the other side and gets Simone. He's like, dude, this guy listens to metal.
What a wingman.
Definitely. So yeah, we were talking about your music. What I really want to ask you is, what do you want your music to inspire? What do you want your whole thing to become in the future?
I mean, your main genre is rock, of course.
Rock.
Right?
Rock and metal. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is, what I get confused about is do you plan to go solos, start your own band? Do you have a specific plan, a specific idea? Obviously, you want to create music yourself. But the thing I don't really know is would you still do anything if because you've never really talked about singing. I've guitar, obviously. You you cannot think of Denis without thinking of a guitar. You're amazing, and especially you saved up for the new one, and it looks sick.
Thank you.
You know, last time we went even to your concert in Marseille,
thank you.
very like impressive. But you never, at least I've never talked to you about what you do necessarily when it comes to singing and what you will plan to.
The thing is, I really look up to singers, especially with like, you know, really big voices, but I don't think I'm one with those, you know.
Yeah.
I don't have the voice. I believe that you have to be like not born, but you know, somewhat have a little voice. Obviously, everyone can train their voice to reach a specific level, and I would love to train my voice and, you know, sing a couple of songs eventually. But as much as I would love to be a singer, I don't.
Guitar is the main thing.
I guess so. Yeah.
One of a really question that I really want to ask you is: would you ever consider going into different genres, like hip hop, pop, stuff like that? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like,
listen, in my opinion, I respect any genre that and any like
besides
artists
pop and country
in any genre,
hip hop and no, I'm kidding.
Like I respect every person that makes it somewhat far in any type of genre.
Yeah.
I can mention Kanye. I know you're like a big fan of him. I respect him. The fact that I may not be interested in his music is a different thing, but I respect how he got far.
That's how I used to be about Bob Dylan. About Bob Dylan, before I actually got into his music, I used to be like, I respect him. It's insane the amount of like praise he gets for his music and stuff. Never really listened to him. I actually do like him a lot now. I do think like a lot of his songs are just like you can't repeat a lot.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing about modern music is you can repeat them again and again and again. But some older stuff,
I guess so.
Especially if it's country. I mean, Bob Dylan's very whatever, but yeah.
So I was like with different genres, I would like to combine different genres. You know, like how Linkin Park does. There's like the and they put some rap into it, maybe. But the main like path, the main goal is rock, metal.
I think you fit perfectly into that category. Yeah, I think that's. I think honestly, I don't know why. I don't know why Zach is laughing.
Listen, it's behind the scenes. No one can see this. Yeah. I'm telling you, when we get moving image or video or whatever the fuck you want to call it,
a small ass room with a big teddy bear on the bed.
It's a secret. You don't know where we're filming. Okay?
Yeah. But I think that answers my question. Honestly, I like the fact that you're open and that because I know musicians personally that legit this other music, like this other genres and stuff like that. And I find it quite, I wouldn't say not
annoying.
Yeah, I guess annoying is
it's
a
just
word.
like why it's the same thing with like Kanye.
Open to it.
I hate to bring him up so much, and I'm kind of a fanboy, so whatever. But it's the same thing with Kanye when he wanted to go from hip hop to fashion. When he wanted to go from hip-hop to making shoes. When he wanted to go from making shoes to making clothing. When he wanted... Like, no one let him. No one wanted it. Like, it's the same thing. And people hate you for it because they're like, they love you so much for what you do already.
Yeah.
And they're like...
It's hard to...
Why the fuck are you gonna go to a different genre when you're good at what you do?
When you're good at that, exactly.
And then they start going like, you missed out on what you could have done in that genre. And it's very hard for an artist to do that. And some artists really do fuck up.
The problem is some artists don't even change.
Like, part of me feels like that's what happened to like Eminem in a way.
The thing is, some artists are afraid to change.
Yes. And then they keep making the same music.
They keep making the same one. I think they might make it worse because they're not as passionate about it anymore.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But the thing is, about what Simona asked, like, do you plan to do something in specific and then later on, like, change genres? Is it just like you want a mix of things straight from the get-go? Or how is it, like, exactly? You don't have a plan?
I don't know. I generally don't know. I want to try out a lot of things, and I'm into a lot of things as well. I would love to do rock. I would definitely want to try rap, even though it's not my thing. I would love to, like, you know, have a go at it.
Mm-hmm. A thing that I will ask you from that is, do you personally think trying out different things, I'm specifically talking about music here, when you're trying, like you said, you're mostly specifically into rock, so would you say that it's time wasted trying to go into pop just knowing that you're so good at rock?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I agree with that.
I remember when you wanted to get your guitar. I was like, you should get a guitar that is more versatile.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because you might be good at rock. Let's say you're good at rock. But there's other elements that come into other genres which could be really important for you to like understand.
Especially if you're a beginner.
Yeah, yeah,
like
definitely.
If you're someone who's just getting into something, it's really good to dip your toes in everything.
Mhm.
Like when I was
Exactly.
doing art for a long time, I had a big problem where I only did like cartoons. And I didn't do any like still life. I didn't do any like human figures, faces. You have to dip. You have to do everything. You have to learn the basics, the shapes, the things.
Yeah, I'm not saying you have to enjoy it.
Yeah,
but
you can't know how to make a square, a circle, a rectangle, but then when it comes to a triangle, you're like, fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't know like English and then not know Maltese.
Yeah.
Or like maths at all. You know?
Yeah.
It's like.
Like I don't know, dive in, experience.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to like.
But then another thing, an example I have, like specifically of an artist that just came to mind, is someone like Kid Cudi. I don't know if you're familiar with him at all, but he used to be one of the biggest rappers ever. He still is. His biggest album was Man on the Moon. He was mentored by Kanye and actually became really popular from that and in the hip hop genre. And later on, he literally released a rock album.
Wow.
He literally released like rock, not like hip hop with some rock, like, and it was awful. Like people hated it. He made I heard like 2 tracks that I liked off it, but for the most part, it was literally like the worst reviewed album of the year.
Problem is, people find it hard to change.
Yep.
Like for an artist to change.
And another
especially
thing
for
is the
someone that they
fans
look up
accepting
to.
it.
Yeah.
Another thing, like if I was personally like a music artist, what I'd legit do, like that's another thing I think. Oh my God, I'm not gonna stop bringing him up. It's like Kanye's masks is like that's part of what it means. It's like I think if you bring a new identity and then you change your genre, because people don't know you for hip hop, now they just know you as some new rock dude.
Exactly.
But if you're doing rock and you have a past of hip hop,
obviously
they're like,
it's
no,
hard.
but like you're so much better at hip hop.
Exactly.
So, you know, so
listen, I might sound like a complete retard right now, but would you guys say that applies to Eminem and how he looks at himself as Eminem and Slim Shady? Would you say that's different? Like,
doesn't he have like 3 different personalities?
I
feel like it's Eminem, Slim Shady, and then who's the other one?
I can't think of the other one, but I know.
I've been getting into Eminem.
But would you say
Marshall Matters or whatever? Marshall. Yeah. Marshall, which is like really him, is what I think. Eminem is like the guy. Like Eminem is what I think ruined him. I think everyone misses Slim Shady. Like everyone misses like he doesn't give a shit. He just goes like. So. And now it's Eminem. He's not Slim Shady anymore whatsoever. Like the blonde hair era of Eminem.
Yeah.
Slim Shady. That's what everyone like. That guy's dead. Like in my eyes, you know.
The problem is when you become a fan of someone. Let's say Måneskin as an example, because that's the one that I experienced. I guess the biggest. You know how I said I like his older music more.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they put more. I don't know.
Thought into it?
Maybe. But I don't know. I'm not judging them because they do what they want. But
definitely.
My point is that it's hard to look up to an artist that changes when, I guess, you like his older stuff more.
Got it. Another thing that I really wanted to ask you is, what do you think a beginner musician should be looking to do? Do you think they should be learning to, like, what's the best instrument to get into music? Genuinely,
man,
even though you're a guitarist and maybe you would say guitar, but I've heard a lot of people personally. Piano was a thing that I've heard that is a really good thing to like learn for a first musician.
I think his piano is very open. In my opinion, I think,
and not that hard to learn, from what I know.
I guess so.
Like, what's the easiest instrument?
The thing is, with piano, you know,
the
you
triangle?
The thing is, with piano, you know, just press a note, the sound is made.
Yeah.
By the piano. With guitar, you know, you have to actually make the sound with like your 2 hands, which makes it harder. So I guess I don't know if piano is the easiest one, but I think it really depends on what motivated you at the start.
Let me then change my question in more specific. To learn music because music is a language.
Yeah.
Music is legit a language.
Yeah, definitely.
There is basically letters in it. The notes are letters converted. And I'm saying for a person that has to learn those notes and stuff like that, would you say that piano is the best one?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Because
But the thing is, this might just be my stupid idea. I like to put music theory a bit like separate from my rock, because there's so many like big guitarists that don't even know how to read sheet music. They just give a fuck about it all. But it depends how you want to do music. It's definitely important to know theory, obviously. But if you want to if you're interested in theory, piano.
Yeah, that's exactly what I've heard. Like I have a friend who used to take piano, and it's like he knew a lot of like music. I was like, what the fuck does any of this mean?
Piano is good though. It's generally a good instrument that you can put your heart into. It's just
and then
more on the guitar side.
The transition from like something like piano to something similar like the electric. Is it the electric piano? I don't even know what the one you have.
Keyboard.
Yeah. Is that like that? Could you transition?
I'm not sure. Obviously,
you know how to play it, right?
Kind of. I know how to play the Pirates of the Caribbean like. Like
dun, 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 Wait, shut up, guys. We're gonna get copyrighted.
Oh my bad. I forgot.
Okay. I guess the next thing I want to personally ask is like your childhood. Obviously, you got influenced a lot by music, I'm guessing. I've talked to you about this before, and you said that you actually got into music a lot later on.
Oh, yeah,
and that when you were younger, you wanted to be an actor, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you remember that.
I do. Okay.
It's very interesting because I've been finding out a lot of things about my very early ages. I just found a picture of me, 3-year-old, holding a baby guitar.
You're destined to be.
That's a sign right there. That's a sign.
But I didn't know that I would actually enjoy doing this until like a lot of years later. As you said, I was really into like making movies or becoming an actor, director, and I'm still kind of into that. I would generally love to make my own movie, act in it as well. But right now it's music, and I'm very passionate about that.
I feel like, I hate to like, I'm an artist, but like. As an artist, just genuinely, like I'm someone who wants to produce film and someone who is very interested in not just film, but like so much different parts of what you'd call
we
art.
Talked about this.
It's hard because, first of all, transitioning from something to another thing, and second of all, prioritizing. Like I find that I can't pursue, like right now. Like when I was younger, 2-3 years ago, my main goal was art, specifically cartoons. And then it transitioned from that to like, I just want to draw just in general. And then it transitioned to that to like, to be honest, I think I just want to like make movies. And then it's like writing movies, and then it's like directing movies, and you get into like this whole, and I feel like something that it's not good for you is like trying to do two things at once. You can't try to become a director and at the same time try to become a movie star or like a music rock star. It's you gotta pick one and put one as the second. And I decided that personally my like physical art drawing is gonna come second to my writing and my film and whatever. Like that's what it is for me at least.
Again, as we said with the earlier topic, like with genres, it's good to experience with things. Same with this. I think you should experience with different type of arts. Let's say that is actual art, drawing, painting, movie making, music, whatever. But I think it's good to experience with all of these. Obviously, have the one on the top that you're most passionate about. But, try it out. You never know.
Definitely.
Another thing I wanted to ask also, I guess, about your childhood is like the transition from Hungary to England to here. So you've lived in Hungary. You're from there.
Yeah.
Are you both sides of the family?
Yeah.
Hungarian, yeah.
Yeah. Both.
And I just talk about your like life there. Obviously, I've never moved. Simone has moved. You have moved. I've never moved. But the way I imagine it is, since you grew up somewhere at a really young age, it's a lot different because you're also like, yeah, I grew up in Hungary and then I grew up a bit in England. But the thing is, I was like 1 to 7 in Hungary and I was 7 to 9 in England. And when it's a different age, it's like
different growing.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Like like I went to middle school in Hungary, but I went to primary in Italy or whatever. It's like it makes a big difference, at least from what I'm guessing.
I don't know. I'm 16 years old. I still have the like brain of a dumbass kid. But I lived 8 years in Hungary, and I don't think I could explain everything at once. Like
of course.
it's so different in Hungary. It's so different in England. It's so different in Malta. But
what's the biggest difference you see in between all of these countries? Or like even not all of them, but like say from like the transition from Hungary to England and from England to here, the transition specifically from transition. Sorry guys, transition from Hungary to England. What was the biggest difference that you find?
I mean,
or the biggest difficulty as well?
The biggest one is you have to speak a different language.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
That was tough. Going into school not speaking.
Would you say English. Now you know more English than Hungarian? Like I asked this to Simona. I go, what does your brain think in?
I don't.
Like my brain thinks in English.
No,
like
mine.
The voice in your head, does it think in Hungarian?
It's actually funny because when I'm calm, it's usually Hungarian, and when I'm pissed off, I'm swearing in English.
Exactly. Same. No. When I'm calm, it's English. And then if I get really angry, I go Maltese like crazy, like So
it's mixed.
Yeah.
Hungarian is like the natural kinda.
Yeah.
And again, it depends. If I hang out with, for example, you guys for the whole day, for the rest of the day, my brain's gonna be stuck in like an English mode. But if I'm with my parents, then Hungarian.
Yeah. One thing I really wanted to bring up is England, right? I heard you had a few experiences in England, especially with something really common there, which is you got stabbed.
I did not get stabbed. Let's get that clear.
You got almost stabbed.
You didn't get stabbed.
No, I did not.
But can you elaborate this, like what happened and the situation that you were in?
Yeah, all right.
And your like emotions and feelings through it, because
how old were you?
Yeah,
8.
So when you just moved.
But wait. Let's just get the whole story straight. We were after school, me and my friend. We didn't get attacked by adults, so it's not like a big grown man came up with a knife or anything.
Yeah, of course.
We can say school bullies. Looking back at it, it's just two dumbass kids.
Yeah.
What happened is that we came out of school, and me and my friend, we were just, I guess, walking home, just staying outside. And when we got attacked is a really big word. It's just two kids started to like
harassing.
Somewhat, exactly. And it led to a point where
it escalated.
Yeah, somewhat. One of the kids decided to break like a glass bottle that he found on the floor. He broke it on the wall, and he started to like
swing it around.
Yeah,
bro, that's like
that's why I said it's not stabbing, but I did get a little like cut.
Oh, so he actually like swung at you.
Yeah.
All right.
The thing is, the friend that I was with, he didn't run away, but for some reason we got split up from each other. So I was with the two kids while he was somewhere else, but then they left me alone. They went away, and then we met up again. It was just a big clusterfuck.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing I really don't think about, and it's something to honestly be scared about when I live in like such a small place and it's so remote here, and it's so like that's the thing about living here is just
Malta is so much more peaceful. You have
specifically Gozo.
Gozo,
you walk down the street, say whatever, the most like as long as you don't fuck with like someone that makes sense. Like if you fuck with some kid and then it turns out, oh shit, that kid's related to this guy who's this guy, he owns like 7 boats, and he is related to this guy in the government, so you're gonna get your head cut off.
Screwed.
Then you're a bit fucked. But if it's just some guy, first of all, there's a lot of tourists. Second of all, most people are like have no clue what violence is. Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah. You're describing this. You were less than 10 years old. Yeah. To me, I can't even fathom that, because it's like kids in England. Like the stories I've heard is just like
they grow up. The problem is they grow up with this violence.
Yeah, you see it from an early age, which is insane to me, because to me, literally, it was just on like TV. It was just on whatever, and it's you still let out an aggression. Like
problem is
fights at school would happen and stuff, but nothing near the stabbing, killing, murder, whatever. Like I've heard like I don't think a single person I met from England hasn't said, "Oh yeah, like someone in my school got stabbed." Every single person.
But look at it. There's daily stabbings in England. just in England, daily stabbings, and it's just stabbings. Thing is, I feel like, without sounding really offensive, I don't know if it's offensive, I feel like Malta is stuck a bit in the older times.
No, I tell people that I literally talked about that the other day.
Which, honestly, I'm somewhat happy with. Because if you look at the time right now, it's dark outside. I don't know if you want to put that in the podcast, because you post it in different times.
Matter.
It's dark outside right now, and I left my house around 8 o'clock when it was pitch dark. And I didn't have a thought in my head, which was like, should I leave my house?
Yeah.
What if something happens? In England, you're home by 6 because you don't want the sun to go like down when you're outside.
That's what I mean.
It's like
literally like freaking Walking Dead outside.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, what? So you don't leave, like, especially. I don't want to sound like a feminist, honestly, but like, if you're a woman, like, for real.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
Bro, if you're a girl in England, like, I'd be scared shitless.
I was scared shitless as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but I don't know, or the things I hear from, like, if you literally wear anything that looks like, bro. I've went to Malta and I see people wear the most expensive shit. Nothing happens.
Yeah.
Nothing happens. In England, bet you wear a watch and it's just it's over.
It's gone in 3 minutes.
No, but seriously, the thing that surprised me, people leave their keys in their bike in Malta.
We leave our doors open.
Yeah.
And I remember, my grandparents legit go, like, remember when you'd go to sleep and you'd leave your door open?
Yeah.
I'm like, what? and the thing is, I go somewhere in England and I'm like, yeah, just leave the door open. Are you nuts, bro? Someone's gonna come in here and like kill us.
Like, put the wood on
what?
it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yeah. Before Negan comes. And it's like, but no, that's like a genuine serious thing. And I'm someone who's like, I've never traveled. I've talked about this on the first podcast. Bro, when I do, like, I remember going to like a concert a couple months ago, and I was just literally like, there's so much people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there's a lot of people. And my head's going, I know this much people exist, but wow, I've never seen this much people.
No, but seriously, in England, you got your bike, okay? You tie it up, obviously, because you tie it to the fence. Next day, the bike is gone with the fence. They just take the fence.
Yeah.
Here, you can leave your bike without chaining it up.
Yeah, exactly.
In England, they bring out the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Bike.
I've legit heard stories about someone getting chased by a machete. Like, some guy, like, what the fuck is going on there?
Listen, I mean...
And what I think it is like the culture and people's, like, health and shit. Like, the way they treat each other. I think it's all people. It's all... And I'm sorry, but I really think that's how it is. Obviously, it has something to do with, like, Malta's more back in time. Like, I found out that, like, dishwashers existed when I was like 11. I go up to my friend, I'm like, yeah, so I was like, you don't have a dishwasher? What's a dishwasher? Or like a fucking what's the one that dries? A dryer?
Dryer.
Dryer. Like, I was like, yeah, it's raining, so I couldn't get the shirt. And they're like, what? Just put it in the dryer. Yeah. I'm like, what's that?
A what now?
It dries your clothes. No, you don't put it like on a thing outside for the sun.
Back to the Future?
No, you just put it in. It's like a washing machine, but it dries it. I'm like, what the fuck? When did they make that? And like, meanwhile, bro, you go to like it's. I went to Malta. Simone and we watched a movie there. I go in the bathroom, and we're washing our hands, and I go do the thing that dries your hands, not the normal one, it's one where you go.
You go like full on
I've
in.
never seen. I was like, what the fuck is that?
Oh, because you're used to the ones when you put your hand on it.
I've never seen one of those.
No, this shit is different. You put your hand in it.
Yo, this shit, though, bro. Yeah, so smart with this.
Next level, it lights up and everything.
I was like, what?
10 years you can connect your phone to it.
Yeah. No, I remember like
probably in China there's already fucking it plays Kendrick Lamar
while you're drying your hands.
But it's the same thing when people said like, oh, like back like in the 60s in America, if you had a TV, it's like you're rich.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
And now no one everyone has a flat screen, and it's like I don't even use it. I just go on my iPad. Like,
sorry, how many inches do you have? I have a 65-inch TV. Like, it's like.
We're talking about TV, by the way.
Yeah, obviously
just
we're talking about TVs.
Yeah,
but yes, that's a fair ass point. I think people these days are like, I don't know. They don't we're way too comfortable, and we don't appreciate what we have to.
Yeah, definitely.
I remember I had that realization when I was really young. I was like I remember like once just really thinking about it, and I've never had like deep thoughts because when you're a kid, you just
obviously
like this is fun and this is
butterflies. Is awesome.
But like I remember once when I was a kid, I was like, literally the way we evolve is just making us lazier. Or like what's a washing machine? It just makes you not do the work.
Yeah.
You pay money for something to do it for you, and it's like
and then we complain.
Yeah.
For putting the clothes on to dry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's all. And people don't realize that it's just like, I think so much about like hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
Just
Medieval
even a couple decades, like the mindset that people have about doing the simplest things.
1,000 times different.
It's
the same thing with like being rich. Or like having like going to your friend's house and they're like, aren't you gonna clean this later? Nah, my mom's gonna do it. And it's like, what? Or I don't know if they're listening, but this is really funny. I think I was in middle school or high school, legit, like end of middle school or beginning of high school, and I'm talking to one of my friends. And I go, like, what do you do in the morning? Like, we were talking about the morning for some reason. I don't fucking know. And he just goes, like, I don't know. I just go eat breakfast. My mom does my bed. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
What?
Your
mom?
11. We're 12. You don't do your own bed? No, my mom does it.
Wow.
Why? Bro, when I was 5, my mom said, start doing your bed, you fucking... Like, bro, some people don't wake up and think about doing their bed.
Yeah.
100%. I think I've been reading this book. It's legit called Make Your Bed. It's a really good book. I genuinely suggest people to go and read it. I'm telling you, and in the book it basically says, even doing the littlest thing, like making your bed in the morning, it makes you feel like you did something. It sounds stupid and it sounds ridiculous.
No, definitely. The little things that you do is what helps you with a lot of things, actually.
It's actually insane. Like, I don't know. It's just in these days we've become so I don't know how to even say it in English. I know how to say it in Italian personally. I don't know how to say it in English.
Too comfortable, too lazy.
It's not even comfortable. It's like, bro, my mom always says this to my sister Gloria. My sister always wants to draw on her tablet because it's easier. You can just rub out. You don't use paper. You don't. But I personally think, and I've told this to Zach, and Zach has answered the same way. You always have to start off with the paper. Yeah. You can't just go straight to the iPad.
It's about like gratitude and appreciating things.
That's, I think, what we're lacking.
Like you're like someone who's middle class these days. You go back years ago, and it's like, what the fuck? You have a box that shows you entertainment. Like you don't have to go out of your house. Nah.
You don't have to go to the cinema.
Netflix is like expensive. It's like €7. You get 100,000 movies just there. Yeah. You just stream it.
For
pay a couple
€7 a month or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Did we pay €6 to go to the cinema for one movie?
I watch old movies like from the early 2000s. It's like, I'm gonna give you this iPod, and it's like, bro, we can download 60,000 songs, and I'm like, wait, there's a limit? There's a limit to how much music you can download. It's like, or like. No one even, but that's the thing. You don't realize it until you don't have it, or you don't.
Yeah.
Because there's no comparison.
You don't appreciate it until you lose it.
Yeah, that's another thing. But the thing is, it's just like a standard.
Yeah.
You become numb to things.
100%.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I don't know that these. There is no winner without a loser. Like you cannot say you're a winner unless 4 other people are doing worse than you. You can't say you're the best unless there's people who are worse than you. It's just like, that's a huge part of it. I heard something specifically. It was kind of like that. It was like, there is no good without bad. Like you can't say something is good because you don't have anything to compare it to. You need to know that. That's another thing that like Carl Jung philosophy goes into a lot. Is like his books dive deep into like your psyche that's like evil. Like the worst things you could do as a person. And how much you can be pushed. Like, a lot of people don't know it, and they lie to themselves, but they'd kill someone. I'm just being... Like, if you were in certain positions, you'd kill someone. You probably would.
There's definitely...
You just lie to yourself, and you tell yourself these things that's like morals or whatever. a lot of people don't know how far they'd go for certain things and whatever.
Basics, there's always good and bad things, and then there's always bad and good things.
But that's the thing. There's also blurred lines, and that's why like movies and shows like Scarface and Breaking Bad and whatever, like these characters, these sort of anti-heroes are so attractive to me personally. Is like you're like, are they good? Are they bad? It's like they do some things for good.
It gets to a point where they don't push that like darker side away anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I think that there are certain things where it's not just good or bad. Like it's just like, I mean, it also depends on what the situation is and who you are as a person. What you believe
they got in fucked up situations in those movies though.
Yeah, obviously. But it's like that one scene, a fucking amazing scene. It's from Scarface, where he literally just gets up from his table and is just like, you need me. You need me. You need me to be the bad guy so you can point your fingers at me and say, that's the bad guy. So you could feel better about yourselves.
Say hello to my little
friend. Say hello to my little friend. Like, that's exactly, like, I started thinking like that. Like, it's the same thing. Like, if someone comes out of jail, you immediately assume they're a piece of shit person, that they're whatever, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of things are closed off based on like programming. If it's honestly, that's the best way to say it.
But
yeah, another thing is like if you believe that they landed on the moon, you're an idiot. Like no way. I'm being serious.
The Earth's flat, guys.
The Earth is obviously flat.
Obviously, or a triangle.
Look outside.
Or a triangle, you know.
There's no like circle. So how the fuck?
Yeah.
Not circle.
There's no like curve. Yeah, it's just flat.
Yeah.
All right, explain to me this. If I drive for a long time, why don't I fall off the edge of it? Like, okay, no. The Earth is, I definitely think the Earth is a circle or like a sphere or whatever. But I kind of think the moon landings were faked. I'm genuinely, I haven't looked into it, but come on. How do we know?
Okay.
How do we know?
Okay.
I don't.
You can be honest. How do we know?
The thing with
there's live footage of the Earth. And it's probably round. It's round. Moon landings, probably a hoax.
The only
kind of think maybe it's a hoax.
I personally I agree.
Everyone's
with that
gonna think I'm an idiot from now.
No. I genuinely think that the moon landings, especially the first ones, yes, there may. And bro, you could shoot the same thing in the Sahara Desert. I'm telling you the truth.
I don't know, man. I could literally film Jurassic Park on my phone. Like
exactly.
the amount that technology improved, I think.
Oh, and that's also what they let you know. You don't think that phones existed in like the 90s and they were just like obviously it gets in the most powerful people's hands and then it trickles down to us, the little people. That's always how it works. Always. It's the same thing with like the rich people have the TVs and then after years and years and years, everyone has a TV and there's some new thing out there.
Definitely.
Like it's you don't think that like there's technology we can't even fucking. Bro, Elon Musk is gonna put chips in us and fucking program us and some shit.
Yeah,
like I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's like, bro, we don't know anything. Like we know a lot, but not.
We think we do.
Exactly.
I don't know. I honestly did not even have an opinion about this before, like this conversation.
I've recently been thinking about that moon landing, and I don't know what to think.
What?
I'm being dead ass. I'm not kidding. This podcast is going to get controversial. And I'm going to say, all right, I want to have a whole dedicated episode just to conspiracy theories.
I don't know. This is like the most interesting like podcast that I ever heard. We went from music to growing up to people getting stabbed to the moon. What's next?
If you think that's a lot, like just wait. Like I genuinely have some questions.
Like 9/11.
Okay.
Like, come on, that recently happened.
Guys.
What the fuck? Bin Laden does not exist. Like,
I
think. God bless the people there.
The only thing that I don't care if people disagree with this because you can't even disagree with it. There have been proof. There have been proven. It has been proven.
What? 9/11 or the moon?
No. I'm talking about something different. I'm talking about the American government handing out weapons to their enemies. That is not a joke. That is legit what they do.
Yeah, so the ones that are selling can profit.
Exactly.
All the war is literally so people that are selling guns can profit.
Legit.
That's not all it is, but I'm telling you,
majority.
Do you know what they do? They send people out so that either they get lost or killed to then say, oh, we need to make more machinery. We need to make more this. We need to produce more things. You sacrifice their lives, so then the demand for those like resources or whatever are higher, and you get more money in your pocket. And it's just crazy.
There's always profit and money, business, and everything
like that.
Everything. At this point,
the world is fucking fucked up.
Way too much.
So I wanna stop with this like kind of like not conspiracy.
No, but the last thing, Epstein. Come on, he did not kill himself. Okay. Think about it. About it. So you find out that there's an island where a bunch of fucking like 40-year-old dudes are having sex and like drugs, and Bill Clinton is fucking some 15-year-old in some island, and then 2 weeks later the guy's in jail and the cameras were off and he kills himself. Bullshit. Come on. That's out of a movie.
Yes, guys. It's like when the guy invented...
Imagine hearing that. That's funny as hell.
It's like the guy that invented the fucking car that could run with just water, and then he fucking drank apple juice or whatever the fuck he drank, and he goes like, oh, they killed me. Like... Bomba like, no, but fuck this. I genuinely want to get into something different. I want to get into something that most people can
relate. Definitely spend the most time on this topic.
No, but I want to get into something that most people can like, especially our age, because that's what I really like to do. Is I want to hear your opinion on early relationships. I want to hear your opinion on what you think
at a young age
people at a young age should first of all look in a relationship, and if they should even get in a relationship in the first place in a young age.
I don't know. I really don't want to sound stupid.
Don't worry. Go
Talk to us about your dating history, Dennis.
I think there's two sides of this kind of dating thing. Like, I think there's two types of people. There's an early stage. I think there's people that are actually like looking for something serious, and then the other side is like, all right, let's fuck around.
Yes,
something.
Exactly.
Yes, that's exactly how it is.
And
I don't know which one's right morally or which one's wrong. I don't know.
You know the thing that I think the most, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, or both of you, I want to hear your takes on this, but I think the people that are usually trying to look for the steadiest relationship at a young age are usually the people, a serious relationship, are usually the people that end up in their older stages to not have a serious relationship because they didn't have
they didn't have the fuck around part.
Exactly, but it's not even the fuck around part.
Yeah, I get it.
Is they didn't have the fun they could have had. Because they were devoted to something. I'm not saying
the
being
same thing.
devoted.
Like before I talked about this on the last one too. It's the same thing when you like stop yourself from doing drugs and alcohol and whatever because you're devoted to something. Afterwards, you regret it. You're like, fuck, I missed out on so much parties because I was studying, and now I have a piece of paper. Like, bro, I look at people in like the higher classes, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're like trying to get like I'm gonna not put in half of the time you do, and I'm gonna get in the same fucking place, if not higher.
But you had more of a life.
What are you doing? Like, stop. What are you doing this for? Your parents? Like, fuck all. Like, I get it to a degree. I like studied for my fucking O levels and shit, but I'm not gonna sacrifice what I want to do and my life and whatever for some piece of paper that's gonna do the same thing if I get 90 or if I get fucking 60.
Yeah.
Like, if you've studied your ass off for your O levels, okay. But if you're spending, bro, I knew kids from middle school because I used to be in the highest classes. I know kids from there that like legit have like folders for each one and like study when they go home. They go to school, they go home, they do an hour of homework, and then they do an hour of studying. They do shit on the weekends. What are you doing?
One thing that we're devoting.
I think this is built up over a lot of different things.
Definitely, and I want to hear I want to hear legit. I just want to hear you talk for about 5 minutes about this specifically.
Okay.
If a girl wanted to get you, what are the I guess you can call them turn-offs and turn-ons.
Red flags,
and red flags and green flags that you have.
Guitar,
girl.
No.
Guitar gets bitches, guys. Make sure you guys tune in to our next podcast where we teach you how to get a guitar and get multiple. I'm kidding.
But
free guitar lesson.
With Dennis.
But yeah, I want to hear.
Learn smells like Teen Spirit.
because me and Zach have a really similar opinion about this, and I want to dive into this because we talked about this last time that we were together. Me and Zach talked about how, in his opinion, a big turnoff for him was girls that not necessarily was thinking about the future. He likes girls that thinks about their future, but he doesn't want a girl to say, "Oh, I'm not gonna come out today because I need to study 5 hours for my freaking next exam, or I need to study for a test which doesn't even go in my exam paper." So that's a thing that I want. That's why I'm transitioning into this, because it brings me back to that topic. So I'm asking you, hypothetically, if a girl wanted to get you, what are the things that she has to succeed, like not succeed, how I guess think of the word. No, not attract. That's not the word I'm trying to find. It's what does she have to be? That sounds really weird, and I don't give a fuck if anyone says, "Oh, you're feminism." Listen, girls, you fucking ask for a guy who's tall, who has abs, who has nice hair, and all of this crap. Okay, like legit. How is that any different? I'm just asking him, in his opinion, what makes him. Or what makes
just
a girl
personal. Everyone's a different opinion, but
I want to hear his take on how what a girl could do to legit say, "This girl is made for me."
Without it sounding stupid, I guess be a team, if that makes sense. Be a team with that person. You know, I'm not saying you always have to agree on everything. Of course not. Have your debates, have your arguments, but I guess again, be a team. Be on the same page, metaphorically fight the war together, if that makes sense.
Yeah. To me, it bottles down to, like, when it comes to relationships, especially teen, older.
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
The two
this
things
this
that
was
will,
my
like
adult serious side.
The two things that will like make or break is trust and communication.
Yeah.
I say that about everything. My father used to say something, and I still stick to it till this day. If you can't trust someone, fuck love. Like, trust is above love. And,
definitely.
And if I'm being honest, like, at the end of the day, if you can't trust someone with, how can you trust them with your love? If you know, like, that's the thing. It's definitely. Not. People say love is the most important thing. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
If you can't trust them with your emotion, with your whatever, like, you know,
if you
that's
spend
what's most
your
important
time on someone, that means you're wasting your minutes on this person.
It depends how much you value your time.
I guess so, but
that's the thing.
If you really like someone, then it's worth giving your time to them, you know?
That's exactly.
Why waste your precious time on someone who's not, like, I guess, there for you? Or
But that's the thing. A lot of people don't have. It's not precious time. That's the wrong. That's the fucked up part. It's like a lot of guys just rather whatever than not be lonely. Like, I'd rather be with her than, like, alone. You know? Like, some guys are genuine. Like, it's just desperate. And it's not really.
Which is
but they don't
understandable.
have. If you don't have anything else to do, I'm gonna have.
My guy.
I got Fortnite, but
my guy was about to say live for. If you got nothing else to live for.
No, in a way.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I know agree. People where it's like, you gotta have a relationship where it's like it amplifies your life. Mm-hmm. You like, when I got into my relationship, it's literally like everything else outside of it got better. The workouts were more intense. I felt more joyful. I woke up thinking about stuff. Like, it can't be, I don't have anything to do, so and I'm gonna have no one, so I'll just, like, stay with you. Like, that's fucked up.
That's the fucked up part, because you're wasting your time and you're wasting her.
No, it's people
time.
That don't, like, you don't view your time as precious.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
the thing. You have shit to do.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, that's why a lot of, like, especially men, is just, they're so focused on, like, career and success and whatever, that they can, like, let go of a relationship, in my opinion, easier. Like, fuck, like, everyone's different, but in general, not stereotyping, whatever, I think in general, like, a guy can just let go. A guy that has something, a person that has something to do, is just, you could let go of a relationship easier.
I agree.
And I'm not saying that that's, like, you have to value your time. because that's how you know the person is valuable. If you don't value your time and you don't have anything to like live for, anything to do, anything to put your time towards, then anyone's good enough. And that's the problem. The problem is standards are plummeting. There's no, hey, I'm not going to get treated like this because I value my time. Like, it's just, all right. Like, a lot of people just settle. That's the thing. They don't work for anything. They don't make you have to make your time precious. That's what you said is something that like people don't even, I mean, yeah, but like whatever, I'll just spend 2 hours with her. And what the fuck? Like some people, the guys at the top, the guys who are rich, the guys with the bit, like what, they value their time. And in like if for them, you think like for Steve Jobs to spend an hour with you is like, yeah, sure, it's just an hour. No, that's an hour that I could put into this, that I could put into that.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
He's losing out on millions.
Yeah, I saw something where it was like Joe Rogan.
I say you ask me this question in 20 years, when I'm like more experienced.
Yeah,
with
none of us know shit.
We're all like 16.
One thing that I will go back to is that Zach said is that standards are plummeting. Like we're talking about, like even though. This fuck. I'm gonna get so much shit for this.
Oh, but you're homophobic.
Insane amount.
Sexist, misogynist, incel.
So, what I think. First of all, I think that I want to point out of completely off topic. This is probably the most jokester an episode will ever be. Like you will hear tones go off the charts just because we're just fucking around. We're just having fun, and that's how we love it. But going back to what I was about to say is, bro, I know people, I'm not going to mention names, I'm not going to mention who, I'm not anything, but I'm just saying, there are people that, I'm sorry, but if a girl has a certain body count at a certain age, and you still are down to, like, you can't do.
She belongs to the streets.
It's not even I'm telling you, it's like, how can you? Or another thing, a lot of people these days are like, oh, I fell in love. How long have you known this person? How do you know exactly? How long?
But he's like, you don't get it.
You don't get it. He's the one.
That's the thing.
The one syndrome is the worst.
That's the one thing I will say. Most of these people are men. Most of these people that go out and say, oh, I think I like her, or I think she's my crush, or I think I love her. Bro, you've known her for 2 weeks. You don't know shit about her.
I don't think we understand the actual true meaning of love yet.
100%.
No, but that's not what we're saying.
And but yeah, I mean, Zach is right about that. It's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, listen, Zach said, what's it called? Types, no, not types. What word did you use?
Standards
are plummeting.
Yeah.
You know what I did?
It's just.
I don't give a fuck. I'm letting this out. Okay. Anyone loved my hair? I'm really sorry. I am bald. I'm not bald. I have a buzz cut.
Oh fuck! This really is an Andrew Tate podcast.
I legit buzzed my hair. The reason why I did this, a lot of people that were there that day, I've heard a lot of things. It's not necessarily about that, because I'm not going to mention what it was that people are saying. It's not about that. It's about me. I'm having enough about girls. Like, I remember, if I get girls now, there's something fucking wrong. Bro, I have no hair on my head. Like, and that's what I like. Because
American
I want
History
to...
X.
I want to...
Just search up that
the
movie.
next girl I get, or the next girl, or even a girl that I've already known, any of that comes back to me, or that enters my life, I don't want them to look at me and think, holy shit. I do want them to think of me and go like, oh, he's good looking. But I don't want them to just base my looks. Oh, yeah, so I'll talk to him. Or, I'll go out with him.
Like you because of your looks.
I want... that's no. I want a girl to look at me and say, okay, he has a buzz cut. Who gives a fuck? I want to get to know his personality. And that's so rare, though, at this age. That's what I hate.
Of course it is.
I bet. I was walking through the streets of Valletta today. I was going to the fast ferry. This guy, because I don't know, I didn't know this, but I searched it up after he said it. But he goes like, he looks at me and he goes, Ronaldo. Supposedly Ronaldo goes a buzz cut. I don't fucking know what's going on. And I legit turned around and I said, you don't have the balls to do this. So don't speak. It's so true though. People these days value little things like their hair and their so much. And I'm there like, what the fuck? Like, I let my hair grow for 8 months and it got to a length where I told Zach I would never shave it off because I get emotional attachment to it. As weird as it sounds, you get emotional attachment.
Oh yeah,
to
definitely.
And Dennis can relate. He has freaking the longest hair I've seen on a guy. But like,
bro.
So that's why me shaving my head, I am telling you right now, you have no clue how good I feel about myself.
Isn't this like
I think
what
every
the
guy
Buddhists
needs
do?
to do it. I think every guy needs a buzz cut. Not when you're like 8 years old. I think you need a buzz cut. You need to grow out your. You need a buzz cut. Dennis, you
in
need
your
a buzz
team.
cut.
Yeah. I
you
said
better
this.
get
I
one.
said this many times before. I will.
You cannot be. It's as simple as what the fuck are you putting your like why? Why are you attached emotionally or to nothing?
I know you just said not. Don't worry about the buzz cut. Don't have it when you were like 8.
Like no, if you're like 8.
The thing is,
nothing.
I actually had a buzz cut like
everyone
for the
does.
first 8 years of my life.
Yeah,
I think.
I bet.
Every summer, like all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I agree. And another thing, bro, another thing that I realized,
Same thing with like
the amount of maintenance, long hair, and that's the thing. The thing is, I actually grew out my hair for. There was another reason beside all of it, beside how the new trendy hairstyles. I'm not kidding, and I've said this to Dennis before. I said, I think just to him, I wanted to know how girls felt. My hair was nowhere near as long as a girl for sure, but like the amount of like maintenance that you have to go through, and every morning you have to style your hair and all of this shit, bro. I wake up in the morning now. I don't do shit to my hair. I touch it for fun because it's fun and it's fluffy. Like I don't do anything. There's no maintenance. There's no nothing.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's
just simple.
It's just time wasted in my
Yeah.
opinion to a certain level. If you just stand
That's what
in
I
the
mean.
mirror for 50 minutes
Fuck that.
styling your hair, I'm
Fuck
there like,
that.
bro, come on.
But in general, I generally think guys are just so much more simpler creatures.
Oh,
that's
100%. That's just
obviously.
you're gonna get
That's-
called misogynistic.
Don't
You're gonna-
worry about it.
homophobe, bro.
I'm
The
homophobic
thing
with
is- the
Simone.
thing is, that's a strength and a weakness at the same time. What did you just draw?
I don't know.
It's a strength and a weakness at the same time, in my opinion. Where it's like, we're simple, but sometimes we don't give a fuck about things that like actually matter.
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
lot of guys, you give them a couple things, they don't think anymore. Like the ambition sometimes dies, but it depends what type of person you are, obviously, and your upbringing and whatever.
Let me rephrase. Maybe we're not simpler, but we worry about other things.
No, I think we genuinely are just simpler.
Okay, yeah.
I'm being serious. I
But
just
we
think
worry
we
about
are.
other things.
It's
than-
as simple. It's the thing is like we just think more logically, and they think more like emotionally.
I'm sorry, but I want
Most. Okay, fuck off. Okay?
you don't think? Listen,
Like, how do you wake up in the morning? You just wake up, pick the first fucking shirt you find in your cupboard, you just
Yeah,
brush your teeth,
exactly.
brush your face, you're out of the house.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
10 minutes, nothing. Just fuck it.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
That's
It's
one.
we give a fuck about other things.
That's
another.
That's
thing.
one thing I respect a lot about you, Dennis. I am a person of style. I'm a person that not a personal style. I'm not gonna say that. I'm saying I'm a person that cares about style.
No, I care about
And-
style.
But the thing with you is you don't give up. But the amount of times I've seen you, no offense, same pants, same shirt for 3 days. I'm sure you washed them. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure you washed them.
Let's get that clear.
Yeah. I'm clearing
I don't
that.
wear the same shit
I'm-
after like
I'm-
a day.
I'm clearing that, but I'm sure you wash them. I'm sure you do everything. But I'm saying you don't give a fuck, bro. It's black jeans, simple black shirt, maybe with a graphic on it, and shoes. That's it. He doesn't give a fuck. And
The
I
time when
respect
I
that.
worry about appearance more is on like if I perform somewhere.
Yeah, I noticed that, bro. You were dressed up. I liked it. It was cool. It was cool.
I don't know what it's called in English, but I had the thing.
Yeah.
Straps.
I don't if it. Yeah, I think so. I don't know if it's
guess.
called that in
I
English.
really
but
I
don't
don't even know.
But
honestly.
I'm sorry, but before this, like I don't know, we're hitting the hour range mark. I wanna before the podcast. I don't know when we're gonna finish it, but hypothetically,
maybe
if
we
we're
could go an
finishing
hour
it
and a
soon,
half,
I want to get this thing across. I want to know what because you didn't answer my question. With all due respect,
No?
you didn't answer my question of
My bad.
no, don't worry, it's all good. But you didn't answer my question of what are your green, like, what do you look in a girl? What do you look for? Do you want a girl that plays guitar? I'm genuinely think that's a thing. I genuinely think that's
care about her playing guitar.
I just want one negative thing that would legit turn you off completely from girl, and then a positive. I want to just one of each. That's it.
Honestly, as you know, I'm a really like social person.
Yeah.
So if she's very like, not that doesn't give a shit about you, but just doesn't ask how you are, or just you text her and she's like, you ask her like, hey, how are you? And she's like, good. And then just that's it. Like
Basically dry.
Yeah, I guess so. That's like the bad thing. Just if we actually start something, then be there.
Yep.
I guess I'm not saying have a podcast with me, but just talk.
I think how I see it is a relationship is. Oh wait, by the way, I need to I need to correct myself after I say this because I already know how this is gonna turn out. But a relationship is a friendship on steroids. But never fucking call your boyfriend a fucking friend because I'm gonna fucking kill you myself. I don't give a fuck. That is the most demeaning thing ever.
See, I think if you're in a serious relationship, let's say you love the person for real, I think you have to be friends on some level as well.
Hands down, I agree with that completely. Hands down. But again, you answered one of the bad things. Now I want you to answer the
good thing.
Yeah. What's a good thing that you would say? That's a girl that I'd have a kid with, or I'd marry. I'd legit see myself the rest of my life.
Dude, I don't think that far ahead.
But hypothetically, or even okay, in these days, go along a year with that person just from that good trait. I'm very different. I attract different. I attract the opposite.
The support, I guess. I don't know if that sounds like a bad thing.
So I think that's something that's really important and gets over fucking looked. It's like,
if there was a camera right now, but like when Zach speaks like this, you can see his eyes. It looks like he's high. Honestly,
I look like I'm high.
Yeah. It's
like,
jokes.
If she asks how you are, and you're like, you don't want to sound sad or upset or anything, but let's say you're just saying you're a bit upset right now,
bro.
And she's just like, oh, hope you get better tomorrow.
Exactly, bro. It's literally that's the most like feminine thing that's missing. Like a lot of, in my opinion,
by the way, let me get this clear. I'm not necessarily talking from experience, so let's not.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's just I think a lot of women are more masculine and men are more feminine, and I think it's just obviously it goes different ways, but I think like just social media mostly is what's doing that, and I think there's a really good line, and I don't want to be like that guy who quotes Fight Club, but I'm gonna be that guy who quotes Fight Club. He goes like, Tyler Durden, Brad Pitt's character. He says we're a generation of men raised by women, and it's like that's exactly like a lot of guys they don't have that father figure. Same thing with girls, and I think that's the number one thing in my opinion. It's just the father figure,
I'm
fatherhood.
Looking for like a lot of sympathy.
That's the thing.
Not a lot sympathy for me.
I know, but that's a feminine trait in my opinion. I'm not saying that guys shouldn't do that, but it's the same thing where it's like you work hard, you come home, and your like wife, your girlfriend supports.
I guess
you.
Not appreciated.
It's like it's the emotional like, how are you type thing that is like, in my opinion, insanely attractive in a girl.
And another thing, I'm sorry, girls, but like,
it's,
how hard is it to say how are you?
No, that's different. That's what I was about to say. It's like the first move. That's the thing. No, most girls are reaction. You do something and they like react to it. But if the reaction is not emotional, if the reaction is just like, okay, just
one thing I do agree with, and I've always agreed with, and I've always said this. There is a song that says this a lot. It says, if you want love, you have to, if you want trust, you have to give back trust. There is this guy, I don't remember what his name is, but he says, the person you fall in love with is not the person that dresses up well on Saturday nights and goes out to dinner with you. It's the person that texts you good morning. You're not falling in love with the guy because he brings you out to dinner. You're falling in love with the guy because he texts you good morning. He texts you good night. He texts you, how are you? Right? Why are we the one that are supposed to do this. Like, I definitely agree that a man should do it more than a female, but I don't think that a female shouldn't do it at all.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that, because I'm sorry, but if you really want to be equal, bro, you really want equal rights, bitch, fucking do the same shit. Do the same shit,
Then
bro.
be equal.
Then be equal. You want equal rights. You don't want to fucking go fight to wars, do you? So,
I don't
bro,
know. I think
I'm going a bit
You
far.
marry the
but
girl that gives you the last muffin.
wow, that's,
No,
that's a weird saying.
it's
But
honestly a good one. Not gonna lie.
muffin, what, ass? I don't know.
That was a
Cake?
joke.
Cake? But no, yeah, I genuinely, I stand by what I just said. Apart from like the female having rights. That's a joke, guys. Just genuinely don't take it out of context. But don't clip me.
Sexist, misogynist,
Homophobic.
Homophobic.
racist.
You're just a horrible person, someone.
Oh, 100%. I'm a dickhead, bro.
Target, bro.
But yeah, I
See, that's the thing. Like sometimes I'm like, fuck, I should probably shouldn't say. And then Simona says that, and I'm like, I got
should have
nothing
said
to
it.
worry about. Like whoever's listening just compares what what Zach said. Kind of is like, yeah, women don't have rights. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
But, and
like,
then they just go out.
legit.
Who cares?
Legit, like I'm like you know what I say is people never have the balls to do the first move. Even guys on guys, you see it a lot. I've been at parties with friends, and a lot. Even in Italy, I've been at parties with friends, and they go like, "No, you go up to the girl first." Okay, fuck it, I'll go up to the girl first. They always need someone to set something that if they do something bad,
They can compare it.
to, and they can't even exceed it.
There's no good without bad.
That's exactly.
There's no first place without a second place.
That's why, bro. Nothing Zach
You
says.
cannot. All right, listen. You cannot. If you were raised where you go and play football and they give you a medal even if you lost, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
Like that is as simple as no. You can't. It's you either first, second, third, or you lost.
Yeah.
Like what?
If you're not first, you're last.
If you're not first, you're last.
No, but like that's why it's really weird, right? But if Zach was with a person that was way nicer, like I'm genuinely, I'm gonna admit this, bro. I'm a fucking dickhead. Okay, I'm not gonna fucking lie about this. I truly believe that. I've said it to Kyle. I've said it to Dennis. Shout out to Kyle. He unfortunately couldn't be here today, but I said it to Kyle. I said it to Dennis. I said it to Kyle multiple times. I am a dick. I'm a cunt. I'm a cunt. That's just it, bro. And I'm telling you, if Zach was with a person who was nicer, the things he would say would come off as so bad. But because he's with a dickhead and with someone that doesn't give a fuck,
It makes him look nicer.
and it makes him look nice. Not that he's not nice, but it definitely like evaluates.
I don't know. I don't know about this Simona guy, but this Zach guy kind of got some points.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I
Both
just
of your
said
dickheads,
earlier.
but one of us is less of a dickhead.
But another thing about what you just said, where it's like guys go, no, you go up to her first. No, I'm not gonna fucking go up to you. No, you do. She's just, no, she's looking at you. No, what the fuck? No, like the thing about that is men's biggest thing is the fear of rejection. That's all it is. I'm telling you, if guys just don't give a fuck about like going up to a girl and her being, you're ugly. No, if they go, all right, bye bye. They go, like. Then you're good. If you're not afraid, getting girls is easy once you conquer that. And whether you need to conquer that because you're a fat fuck, whether you need to conquer that because you're ugly, whether you need to conquer that because you're short, whatever fucking way, whether you need to conquer that because you're in your own head too much, once you conquer that, you're good. That's getting girls is easy. In my opinion, I don't want to say like I get girls, but from what I know, getting girls is easy. It's keeping them that's hard. It's picking the right one. It's actually like... That's the difficult part.
I don't know. I think there's again two sides to this kind of like as you said. If you don't have the fear to go up, then it's good, right? But again, reason I think you're nervous about something is because you don't want to fuck it up. If you're not nervous to go up to her, doesn't that kind of mean? Like, who gives a fuck then? This is like relates back to the earlier conversation.
No, you have to. No, the point is conquering it. It's the same thing before jumping.
I guess
jumping
so. Yeah,
off a cliff, or not to kill yourself, but like what Simona did, like
Camino.
when we were at Camino, exactly. So for those of you that don't know, Simona jumped off like what was it, like 14.
I measured it with physics and shit.
Yeah,
don't ask me that I know
I
physics.
measured it with physics. It was like 112 kilograms of meters.
No, isn't it 10 meters per second of falling or something? If I'm wrong, please cut it out.
It was specifically 12 meters and 12 meters.
Yeah, because isn't the rule? Yeah. I'm really hope I don't something stupid. Please Google this before you actually like post it. I'm pretty sure it's like 10 meters per second with falling.
The gravitational force of Earth is 10 meters per second.
And I counted the seconds of you falling in the air. It was around 1 second.
It was 1.5 seconds.
A bit less than half, I think.
Yes, it was. Exactly.
Meaning it was more than 10 meters.
Yeah, but that's my point. And I think I genuinely, you know who said this? Steve-O. I don't know if you know who Steve.
Fucking love Steve-O.
I don't know if I don't know if you know Steve-O.
Yeah, dude.
I watched one of his videos where he jumped off of someone's roof into this shallow ass pool, and he said,
Don't do that, but
no, don't.
Nothing from Jackass.
I don't consent anything, but he said something which stuck by me legit from that day, which is ridiculous to me because something that little could affect me that much. I count down from 3, 2, 1. I always do the thing. There's never been a time where I finished the 1 and I backed out. Not since I watched that video. If I need to talk to a girl, I say 3, 2, 1.
How are you?
And I tap her on the shoulder. It's like, but you know another thing that I will say, guys, from genuinely a tip from me, you want to approach a girl at the party, approach a girl. Don't worry if she rejects you, whatever. It's going to be hard the first one. I'm telling you. The rest, I'm not saying trying to get multiple girls at a party. I mean, that's kind of weird. But not that I don't do it. But
hey, go by 1-1.
Yeah,
one of them's gonna say yes.
Exactly. It's like the more doors you knock, the more likely you're gonna. you're more likely you're gonna.
Sounds like a reference from something.
It is a reference. I don't remember who said it. I think it was Wolf of Wall Street. The main guy of Wolf of Wall Street. What's his name?
DiCaprio.
No.
Yeah, Jordan Belfort.
Jordan Belfort. He said that. Yeah. The
Sell me this.
The actor.
No. The actor is Leonardo. Yeah. But
Jordan Belfort is the actor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got it.
Guy that went through all of that shit.
Fucking best movie ever. Not best movie ever, but like really.
Godfather is close.
Fuck Star Wars. No, fuck that.
Guess so.
One thing I really want to talk about.
Oh, we're going to movies now.
No, not
Star
movies.
Wars is shit.
Not movies.
Ayo.
This will sound really weird, and I don't want to be offensive with this, but you're really childish. Do you think?
I know.
Do you think that makes your character? Do you agree with the way that it shapes your character? That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, definitely. And the reasoning behind this, I said this to people before, not a lot because I don't like sharing it that much, but without sounding cliche or sad or depressed or anything, I want the people that I like the people around me that I like, I want them to be happy. Or even if they're going through something hard, when I'm with them, at least have that moment a little bit brighter than usual.
Okay. Something I want to say.
This is
about what you said earlier and about what you just said now is like approaching a girl or whatever or doing anything that's like, don't you think you should have that fear? Yes, but there's a certain point where it goes too far where if you don't have a fear at all, you could be doing something stupid. Like if you're jumping off a cliff and you have
12 meters,
really large chance of dying and you have no fear,
and you're stupid.
You're fucked. Like but then that's the thing where it's always like, when is it too far? And I'm just saying this as like just genuine. I think you push it too far where you make it about yourself. I think in certain situations, you try to be the guy who's making them happy when you don't need to be. When some things you just gotta let go of it.
I see that.
Like it's the worst, not the worst part. The part is the thing is I know it's from a good place. That's the thing. That's the thing. I know you think like I want to make them happier. Or I want to make the situation better. But in turn, like sometimes it comes off as like. Definitely, I don't want to say it's about you, but
yeah, no, definitely, definitely, it is definitely that I need to improve on a little.
Yeah.
But the people that know me really well, I think that they know that I got a serious side as well. Yeah. I think, which I don't show it quite often.
100%. I think everyone has a serious side. I think everyone. Shout out to Nico. She's really similar to this. I'm not gonna lie with this. You can see that she has a serious side. It just takes a lot for that serious side to come out.
Thing is, me personally, don't want to change topics, but me personally, I'm a type of person, not that I'm more sensitive or anything, but for me, it's harder to, I guess, open up to people a little more.
That's the thing. I used to be just like that. And I used to be like the guy who's funny and makes jokes and
the
doesn't
childish
know how to
side of
serious.
me is what I don't give a shit about.
Exactly.
Like, I'll do whatever I want. I'll go full jackass mode, you know? I don't give a shit. Anyone can look at it, laugh at it, or don't. Then I have my serious side, which is harder for me to share with other people.
That's what I was about to say. These people, like Dennis, Nico, a lot of other people that I know, I don't want to mention their names though. They need to be insanely comfortable with the person to share that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Look at what I'm doing right now. I'm talking about this in front of, like 200 people.
Yeah. Obviously,
you're not face to face.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is the difference.
Like, I'm face to head to head.
Head to
head,
boys. But one thing that I wanted to say is Zach said the fear. We're really going back to this topic a lot, but it's the fear of like rejection and all of this. I don't agree. Zach and me, which he contradicted himself a bit there, because me and him agree in something really specific, which is don't be scared, be aware. It's two different things, completely different. If you walk down the road wearing a dress that accentuates your waist, or even if you're a guy and you're going out and you are wearing like freaking black shirt and like black pants, like I'm talking about black button up, and you unbutton the first 3 buttons, I'm telling you, girls will come up to you and like, or not come up to you, but they will talk about you on the other side. It's not the same as what we do, which is worst, but you still have to be aware of it. If you go out, like you said, in England, at 8, you have to be scared. Don't be scared.
Yeah,
be aware.
You adapt to your surroundings.
Exactly. Be aware of what's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can't. And after that, if you get stabbed in England, and which is quite likely, I'm genuinely not kidding. It's the fact of you can complain about it because you knew that going out at 8 o'clock at night was a bad decision.
No, but that's the thing. There are people who are genuinely, they don't know.
Yeah, that's just called brain dead.
It's insane. I genuinely meet people where I'm
called
like,
bomba clapped.
It's the same thing as you mentioned a while ago as a red flag, when a girl has like a really high body count, or really anyone, even a dude, when they have a really 100%. High body count, they don't see it as anything. Mainly because we become numb to what we think as in like our surroundings. If you go online and you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, and you're seeing how these girls are getting rich off of OnlyFans and profiting off of their whatever, it changes your mind. Yeah. If you live somewhere where, you know, it's arranged marriage, you can only do things with one person, you in a religion where you have to save yourself for marriage, shit changes. And you adapt to that surrounding. And I think that the surrounding we have today is awful, because it's all about money, it's all about profit, it's all about numbers, it's all about your attention is numbers on a screen to the guys at the top. And what that does is it makes the men weak, because it uses their lust, where they go and watch pornography, they go on Instagram, they scroll through girls' fucking pictures. That's numbers on a screen. And then the women profit off that. And then the guys at the top profit even more. The owners of the companies that use these girls and make them think that you're being liberated by just sharing your body, wasting time, whatever. We're going to give you a cut. These guys lose everything. And at the end of the day, we profit the most. Yeah. Like, do people don't fucking think about it at all? They just go like, nah, I just want to watch it. Nah, she's just hot. It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
It's so true though. It comes back to the thing that I was called out personally from a really close friend of ours. Her name is Frankie. Shout out to you. This is nowhere near in a bad way. But in the last podcast, I mentioned that, in my opinion, I'm a 9 out of 10 in Gozo. The reason why I think that is not because I think I'm a 9 out of 10 in general. It's not that. It's that my surroundings, the surrounding people that are around me, are so I don't mean in a bad way low standards, because I guess they're not. I don't know most Maltese guys. I'm not gonna capitalize on it and say Maltese guys are disgusting or anything like that. But looks wise, I do think I exceed what they. But it's not because. But if I go to Italy, bro, I'm normal. I'm actually maybe below average, and it's like it's just because of your surroundings. It's legit what Zach said. It's exactly what Zach said. It's just said in a different way that triggers people, because I'm saying that someone from a certain nationality is not as good looking as someone else. That's it. That's the only reason why it's triggering, and it's the only reason why I got controversial for it, or controversial.
I think it's because people think like, you think you're a 9.
Yeah.
I don't think you're a 9. All right, so shut the fuck up. Don't think you're better than you actually are.
But again, it's somewhat the fear of rejection. Because if someone asks you, what do you think of yourself? What number are you out of 10?
Yeah.
No one's gonna be like, yeah, I'm a 10, because immediately gonna be like, if you say that you're a 9, people are gonna think that you like think big of yourself or something.
Okay, one thing I will have to like specify in this, because I didn't specify this. I'm not saying in improvement. I think in improvement I'm like a 6. I'm low. I'm 5 maybe. But in looks, I definitely think I can improve. I'm not saying there is one number room of improvement.
Oh yeah,
but for this island, yes. For this island, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when I moved to Malta, I think there's a lot of room for improvement for me, style wise, looking wise, everything, bro. But let's not take it out of context to say that I think highly of myself when it comes to becoming a better person. I think I'm a 5, maybe max a 5 when it comes to like self-improvement. I can improve a lot. I can improve a lot. But, looks wise, that's how I think of myself. Which I think, honestly, thinking of yourself a high way when it comes to looks,
a good thing.
It's a good thing, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I don't mind girls that think they're good looking. I don't like the girls that come up to me and say, I'm ugly. You don't think you're ugly. You're just saying it because you want fucking attention, bro. And I hate that. I hate girls that do that. I'd rather you say I'm fucking hot as shit than you saying I'm a fucking. I'm like, shut up.
Where you blur the lines.
Exactly.
Like girls that think that they're a lot more than they are. Girls that like act like they're.
I think
oh my god, I hate how I look. When in reality they think of themselves as like really whatever, and in reality they're not. Like, it's all perception and whatever. I think the thing is, I've learned a lot. I live in my head when it comes to that stuff. I've been called like I have a fucking big ego. I've read about ego. I've read about like talking to yourself and what you think of yourself and viewing yourself. My biggest issue is like I deem it with things. Like, a big problem is you put your self-worth with something. And like the biggest thing is like these days is like followers and clout and whatever. I'm better than you because I got 1 million more followers. It's like, all right, what I base like people being better than or like rating or whatever the fuck. It's just character. At the end of the day, it's how you handle situations. It's what you do about what you got. Obviously, everyone's cards dealt are different. Like people are lucky. Like, that's the thing. Like, but the ones at the top, the ones that always win, I think it's just the ones that work the hardest. It's the ones that actually do what they set out to do. And if the guy that's 5'9" complaining that he can't get girls because he's like short or whatever, it's like, yeah, so, you have so much other shit though. Like, stop. What the fuck are you doing? You don't think that there's like 100K girls that are like in your option? And then it's also the other thing where it's like the guy who's like 6'3", like best genetics, great looking, gets hit on girls, whatever. Yeah, you don't know. Like, you literally, they age bad. Like, you're like on top and then you lose it. It's just like when you're at the top, you don't think you have to keep working on it. It's the same guy with the gym. Like, the guy who looks good genetically doesn't go to the gym and then gets fat later. The guy who...
I guess hearing that.
Yeah, it's the fireworks.
The guy who... I thought it was just in my headphones.
The guy who just the guy who looks like shit genetically is really skinny and then goes to the gym is always going to beat the guy who has the better genetics and doesn't.
It's not even, I think it's not even about, and I don't know if you both agree with this, but I don't think it's even about, like, genuinely, I personally prefer a guy who looks skinny, but has been working out, still looks skinny, but has working out for 2 years or 3 years, and now he's like, meh, he's not to the level of the guy with the good genetics, but I respect more the guy that has put in the work, like you do. Bro, you call me and you tell me, bro, I've been training for guitar for 2 hours today. I'm there like, bro, I respect the shit out of that. I respect the fuck out of that because I compare that to my gym. I compare that to me being skinny, me being skinny shamed, and all of these things. And I'm there like, bro, I put in the work. I try to become better. And I don't even give a fuck about what people think because at this point, I don't care. I just want to feel good myself. Like you do, I think, when you play guitar for 2 hours a day, you're like, I'm improving. I may not be like freaking, I don't know what you want to compare yourself to, but I genuinely don't know. Give me a freaking good guitarist.
Slash.
Like, I'm not as good as Slash.
Of course.
But I'm improving and I'm getting there and I'm may not ever reach that level, but
the fact that you're like
you're
working
really
on
putting the effort in, it's enough,
definitely.
bro. I don't give a fuck if a guy has good genetics and has a bigger chest than me or whatever the fuck.
For
I put in
me,
effort. I did 100 push-ups a day, every day. I am the one. Okay, maybe I not have a chest as big as
another
you.
thing is just like long term.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, now you're there, but just give me a year. Give me a year.
Yeah.
Give me a year, and I'll.
Same with the podcast, bro.
for me, I like to
Give us a month.
I like to judge. Judge is like a strong word to say this, but judge basically people on the effort that they put into something.
I have to clap to that because I agree with it completely.
Obviously, you always like have your opinions on the actual goal that he reaches or she, but I think the effort matters more because it really shows your passion, the amount of work that you put into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's just, do you show up? Like, to me, the guy who just shows up every day is better than the guy who just, like, was dealt a better hand or, like, has went a couple times in his... Like, that guy we saw at Greens? And you asked him how long he was working on. He's like, 1 year. I know, go to genetics. I go, like, bro, that's it. You weren't there, but it was insane. He was, like, what the fuck? Like, insane
physique. He was a few months, by the way.
Just... Yeah,
it was a few months. The thing that I want to do something, which is it's done really rarely. It's really done rarely.
Go on.
But I want you, to ask a general question or a specific question to one of us. Doesn't matter who. Genuinely, I just want to hear a question dealt by the guest and not by the hosts, because it's a thing that usually is not done on podcasts, and I kind of want to see it. I kind of want
question about what?
Anything. I wanna know what you may wanna hear our takes about on something. I want you to put in yourself in our shoes, which I think a lot of people should start doing when it comes to other people. Like, don't start fucking saying shit about other people if you don't want the same thing said back to you. I think that's the biggest lesson that is taught in school. I genuinely think that's the only that's the only lesson that is really taught in school, and I think people need to start sticking by it because it's really important in my opinion. But yeah, anyways, go ahead. If you have anything.
I guess the most recent one. Where did this podcast come from?
Oh, wow.
I don't know. That was just the
That's
first
cool.
one.
That's a cool one.
That's the most like recent one that I could ask right now, because there's so many other things that I could have asked, but there's so many conversations that we had about those topics.
Yeah.
Like, I know the answers to like big questions that I would ask about you guys. So the most recent what I could think of right now is the podcast, I guess.
This gives like an answer this because
this gives it a chance.
To be honest, it's like just people. I always, the thing is, I have this mindset where it's just like, yeah, I could do it. It's not even, and sometimes it's both like a curse and a good thing, because it's like you're delusional to the point where it's like, yeah, I could do it, and then you do it, and then people are like, whoa, he actually did it, and you're like, yeah.
So is it like you've seen people do podcasts and you're like, yeah, I could do that?
I mean, I've always thought like that about mostly everything, except things I like literally can't do. But I always think like if I just try hard enough, yeah. Mainly because as a kid, I did so much different things. And what was with the podcast is me and him would just literally talk. We talk to people. And randomly halfway through, they just go, you guys would make like a great podcast. I'm not gonna lie. Like no, like actually, no, I'd listen to
The
that.
thing is, the audience made us. I'm gonna say that.
Literally, that's what I mean.
The audience,
it's not our. It's at the end of the. It's not even our idea. We just talk to people or talk to ourselves, and people be like, "Yo, you guys just need to start a podcast. Like you talk too much. Like even as like a negative thing, like but." Through that, we were like, fuck yeah. And then we made a joke, and then it actually caught on, and then we thought we could actually do it, and then we got this equipment, and we started. It's not the best. There's definitely improvement to go. I bet like a year from now, if we're still doing this, if it's still going well, if it's even better, we're going to look back and be like, bro, this is shit.
Yeah,
but
we're
obviously,
in a room.
it's
Teddy
just
bear.
it's about how you, it's just starting. It's just starting, and we were like, fuck it.
Fuck it, this is the second episode.
Fun.
Like,
I don't want to set like... I want to set goals to it, but another thing is like, I don't want to put it on a pedestal, and that's the thing with like most things is I just don't set things on a pedestal where I'm like I did this. I'm so pride is dangerous. Having an ego and not starting yet also thinking that something is better than it actually is like a really fucking dangerous thing. So I prefer to just like go with how things go. Like with the podcast, I'm not really like, bro, like we're doing so well, like we get like I'm gonna see how it goes. I base what actually happened. Like before the podcast, I just said I'm gonna do my best in certain things, like making logo, posting, whatever, reaching out to people, and I still think I could do better in multiple areas, but it was just like I gotta start. And then after the podcast, when we got results from people and like feedback, and people started DMing us and talking, and we actually heard that people were listening to it and not just whatever, not just like bullshitting. I was like, all right, good. This tells me like it's I have expectations in my head, and I know I can get to a certain place with like almost everything, but at the end of the day, if I'm not going to get that result, then I change it. It's the same thing with like a formula. If it's like 2 + 2 and you get 4, okay, that's what I expected. But if you have a wrong number, yeah, you got to change something to get the result that you want. So I mean, yeah, but that's how the podcast basically started.
I mean, a podcast is really good for this.
Yeah.
It's like, because we always have like conversations, you know, but the podcast just keeps your head straight on it too.
Yeah, I completely agree with
But
that.
I want one where I just get like heated. I want one. I can't wait for like an episode where by the end of it, I'm like, yeah,
fuck the
like,
world.
I let it out. Like I like not in the way where it's like I let out my anger on the guest.
Yeah, but yeah, I get it.
But like I want a like these conversations are really dope. Mainly because I genuinely feel like no one thinks about half of the shit we talk about. Like that's the thing about
Remember
this
Jake's
podcast. Bro, the nights we'd have there, we fucking start looking
talking about
at
aliens. That conversation that we
shit.
had, like hours of just aliens and oceans.
Yeah, I genuinely think this has been freaking
we should probably cut this
great podcast. I want to ask you one thing, and obviously, it's a really weird question, but what's your message to the world? What point of view do you want to bring out, and what do you want to tell people specifically from your mind and your thoughts, and what you think the world needs to hear? What's something as your final word to let the people know?
The world fucking sucks, and it will suck, you know, like fuck. But again, what I said about me being childish is the world sucks. It will suck, but I think, you know, I guess we could make it a little better.
A bit of a nihilistic approach, but yeah, I mean, sometimes I think like that. I don't always think like that.
I don't mean that as like let's live green. That's not what I mean at all.
No.
Like, I'm saying like, let's just look at things a bit different.
Open-minded.
I guess so, yeah.
Well, yeah, I think this has been a freaking great second episode. If anyone wants to listen to Denis's covers, please go follow him you can shout out your IG.
Oh yeah, it's _Denis Mezei _06.
There you go. Everyone, you can go on there and find his covers.
But I stopped doing the 1 week cover thing.
No worries, guys. Genuinely, I would suggest you checking them out, especially if you like rock, especially if you like metal. And yeah, it's been a freaking great episode. I think we covered a lot of good topics. I like what I learned about you today, which I haven't learned before. And yeah.
I mean, if we still got a minute, I would like to thank you guys for having me on this. Again, as I said in the beginning, I love talking to you guys in general, and the fact that I can actually do this, like, you know, with a fucking microphone and headphones, this is great.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, I appreciate this.
No worries, mate. Any time, any day. Genuinely, we're gonna have you again on the podcast.
I hope so. I didn't want to sound like a dickhead saying get me here again, but I would love to sit on this bed next to that teddy bear with the same purple headphones.
We're gonna carry that around everywhere.
No, we're gonna.
If you guys ever have a studio, that going on the shelf.
Yes. We're putting it on the shelf. Yeah. 100%. But yeah.
So just a big thank you. This podcast was great, and it's just, if you dive really deep into it, it's just great growing up with you guys.
Yeah, thank you very much.
At the end of the day, that's the best way to end it off.
100%.
It's just 100%. Like, I know for a fact that 10 years from now, I'm not going to forget about any of this, and that I have genuine memories with both of you and a lot of our close friends, obviously. So that's what matters a lot at the end of the day, you know?
So yes, thank you guys for viewing, liking and subscribing and commenting.
Yeah, make sure you guys do that. Like, we gotta get to, like, a lot of subscribers.
#1 podcast in Malta.
100%. We're making it there. We're making it there.
We're on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube.
What do you guys call on Spotify?
That's the thing. It's not fucking showing.
Yeah, I don't know. I put the link on the and it didn't work.
I put the link on the Instagram.
Is it called Head to Head or?
It is. It's called the Head to Head Podcast.
Oh, okay.
So maybe
because I tried and I didn't find that yet.
It's hard to find. I'm not sure. I don't fucking.
But
Spotify doesn't work with a lot of things. But hopefully, you can.
I think once you guys get more popular, it will.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for viewing, listening. If you're on Spotify, thank you very much. We're gonna have a live video hopefully going up soon. Hopefully, but yeah. Great podcast. It has been a great time having you on, Dennis. I really hope we do have it again. And yeah. Thank you for
it. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.